This is the introduction into the economy module. We will be starting with the first chapter, economic aggregates. We will be looking into how we will be segregating the chapters and what all we will be covering in Indian economy totally. The first chapter is economic aggregates. Second chapter is inflation and its targeting. And third chapter would be financial markets. Next, money and banking. So after money and banking, we will be going into public finance. Next is external trade. Economic development. So till here it will be like totally conceptual, and from here we will start the static and dynamic issues, starting with agriculture. We will cover both India and Telangana. Next, industry, same. Services sector. Infrastructure, planning, human resource development, that is health and education, and poverty, unemployment. So this will be the total syllabus that we will be covering in Indian economy. So we will be starting with the conceptual part, that is economic aggregates, that is nothing but national income calculation, GDP, GNP and all those things. Next, inflation, and we will look into the total concepts of economy. Then we will get into the static and dynamic parts. So in static we will cover as much static we could cover. Then dynamic parts you will have to start picking from the dynamic resources while you continue your preparation journey. So let us start with the first chapter, economic aggregates. So a brief introduction into what economy is and what is economic aggregates we will just see. So what is economy about? It is about exploiting resources and creating goods and services for sale and purchase in the market. So this is what economy is totally about. So while we say economic aggregates, what does it mean? We would want to measure that, how much ever that economy is, whether it is the size, whether it is the growth, or what are other parameters can be measured through few aggregates. So what are such aggregates? Alanti aggregates enti? What are those parameters, or what are those aggregates which could actually measure that economy and economic growth and all that? So this is regarding the economic growth part. So if you should have an idea regarding the economic development also at the same time. So growth is something that is concerned with the size of the economy, how much number by percentage it is increasing, that is growth. So we want to see capital formation, we want to see more jobs, we want to see the economy prosper, then we want to see those effects trickle down to the public. So ultimately the quality and the lifestyle of the whole public or the economy should be keep moving up. So this is where the development part kicks in. So in economic development chapter we will be covering how we will measure economic development for that matter and everything. So this is regarding the economic growth. So what is the most common economic aggregate that we actually come across in various resources, be it standard textbooks, be it any material, news, everywhere? It is GDP. So what is GDP? gross domestic product. So what is gross domestic product? It is basically a product. So what does it mean? It is a product of two things. What is it? Quantity into price. So basically that is product. So for all the goods, we'll take the quantity and we'll multiply it with the price. That is what gives the product. So what kind of product is it? It is a domestic product. What does it mean? It is pertaining to a territory. So if there is a country or economy with territory, it is concerning with this whole territory, what are all the goods and services produced, or what are all the quantity produced, at what price they are sold. In this territory it is concerned with. So gross. So what is this thing? Net. So what is the difference between gross and net? We will see. So this is a gross domestic product. It means it gives the gross domestic within the territory product, how many quantities of goods and services are being produced into, for how much price they are sold. That is GDP. So how do you define GDP now? It is the total prices of all final goods and services produced within a territory in a specified time. So if you say what is GDP, say GDP of our country is some X or some few $million. So how do you say it is only for a specified time? You can say GDP for this year is this much, or GDP for this many years is this much. So it is only a specified time, and what within a territory. That is what we have seen here in the domestic. So this is what it says. Then what is it talking about? Is the total prices of all final goods and services produced within a territory in a specified time. So these three are key things, and it is the prices ultimately. So ultimately we are actually calculating the total cost of the goods and services that are being produced in the whole economy or whole territory or a country. So when we talk about territory, so within that territory, say suppose in Indian economy itself, this is Indian economy, so there will be Indians and there will be foreigners also. So foreigners will be working in our territory and producing goods and services, and they will be sold, and they will be that they will have that product also. It means GDP includes the income made by foreigners in our territory. So that is what GDP is about. So if you want to have only the income made by Indians within India and also the Indians abroad, this is total abroad. So in abroad also Indians settle elsewhere and they also produce final goods and services and they make a product out of it, that is income. So this plus this, it means what are we calculating? We are only calculating the product made by the nationals of our country. This is called gross national product. This is GNP. So how do you define GNP then? It is the total prices of all final goods and services produced by one particular nationals in a specified time. Even GNP also you calculate for 1 year or you calculate for a specified time. So this is GNP. So how many we have completed? Aggregates 1, 2. So let's keep moving forward to study more aggregates, more economic aggregates. So we have seen gross and net. So what is the basic difference between gross and net is that net is equal to gross minus depreciation. This is the equation basically. So wherever you are calculating the net of anything, Say suppose you get a salary example. So you get a gross salary, but there will be a net salary. After what? After all the deductions that you need to have to pay, like taxes, whatever the compulsory payments that you need to pay. So all those things will be removed. Then you will get the gross. In depreciation, generally, if you take salary example, then in depreciation it is taxes, direct taxes. But when we talk about the whole economy, so what are we essentially talking about is that net is gross minus depreciation means here it is the wear and tear of capital machinery in an economy. So that is depreciation. So what is the wear and tear of capital machinery in an economy? How do we understand this? I'll tell you with an example. Say suppose I want to produce few goods. What are those goods? Like say suppose steel. So I'll get the raw materials for the steel. Then I'll process them. Then I'll get steel. So in this process, I use various other huge machinery which help me produce this steel and other machinery. Even these goods will have other small machinery which produces other small tools or goods. So this process where this machinery is used to produce another major good which is used as a raw material to produce another product. So this machinery will be called capital machinery. If you want me to tell with an example, say suppose I want to produce bearings. So I would get the raw materials, everything, but I need machinery that will produce the bearings. So that machinery is called capital machinery, because using that machinery I am producing a product or good that is again used as a raw